When my wife Rachel invited me to her office party, I hesitated. I'd heard enough about her team, how fun and laid-back they were, especially one guy, Jason, the charming, self-assured coworker who always made everyone laugh. The way Rachel talked about him never sat right with me, but I didn't want to seem jealous. "It's just a work thing, Jake," she said, rolling her eyes at my hesitation. "Besides, they all want to meet you." So I agreed. The night of the party, I put on a navy blazer and tried to shake off the unease gnawing at my chest. The hotel ballroom was alive with laughter, music, and the clink of too many glasses. Rachel looked stunning in a red dress, and I couldn't help noticing Jason's eyes light up the moment we walked in. He approached with that smug smile, extending his hand. "You must be Jake," he said, voice oozing confidence. "I've heard so much about you." Something in his tone told me this wasn't friendliness. He was sizing me up. Throughout the evening, Jason hovered near Rachel like a shadow. Each time she laughed at his jokes, he shot me a glance as if testing my limits. I stayed composed, sipping my drink, observing quietly. When she went to grab another glass of wine, Jason leaned in. "You've got to admit, Jake," he said, smirking, "Rachel's quite the catch. Must be tough keeping her all to yourself." The audacity stunned me. I clenched my jaw, forcing a smile. "We trust each other," I replied. He chuckled, swirling his drink. "Trust? That's cute." My blood boiled, but I held my reaction. Rachel returned, oblivious, and Jason immediately resumed his charm offensive, touching her arm casually while cracking another joke. It wasn't mere flirtation, it was performance, a challenge meant for an audience. An hour later, the party had loosened up. Music blared, people danced, and Jason, clearly drunk, was showing off arm wrestling colleagues and making crude jokes. Eventually he turned to me. "Come on, Jake," he called loudly, drawing attention. "Let's see what you've got man to man." Everyone turned, cheering. Rachel looked horrified. "Jason, stop," she whispered. He grinned. "What's wrong?" "Don't want your husband to embarrass himself." I stood slowly, straightened my sleeves, and met his gaze. "You sure about that?" He laughed. "Oh, come on. It's just fun." I knew it wasn't fun. It was dominance. A test to humiliate me in front of her. The crowd formed a circle, phones ready. Jason slammed his elbow on the table, gearing up. I sighed, sat down across from him, and said, "Fine. Let's make it quick." The moment our hands locked, I could feel the tension. Not just in his grip, but in the air. He was strong but reckless, pushing immediately to overpower me. I held firm. His grin faltered when he realized I wasn't budging. "You work out," he grunted. "A little," I replied, calm. The crowd murmured. Rachel's eyes were wide, caught between shock and pride. Jason's veins popped as he tried harder. "You should stop," I whispered. "You're already losing." With one smooth motion, I pressed his hand down with a loud thud. The crowd erupted. Jason's face flushed red. His confidence shattered. I let go, stood, and offered a polite nod. "Good game." The room buzzed with whispers and laughter. Some of Jason's coworkers clapped, others tried to hide smirks. Rachel's boss came over, shaking my hand. "Well done, Jake. Looks like you put our boy in his place." Jason mumbled something, stormed toward the bar, glaring daggers at me. Rachel turned to me, half smiling, half scolding. "You didn't have to do that," she said quietly. "He was asking for it," I replied evenly. She sighed, though a hint of admiration lingered in her eyes. For the rest of the night, Jason avoided us, sulking in the corner, ego bruised. I danced with Rachel once or twice, feeling a strange satisfaction, not from winning but from making a point. At home later, Rachel was unusually quiet. "You know," she said, "he's been flirting with me for months. I told him to stop, but he always joked about it." My stomach tightened. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. She shrugged. "I didn't want to make it a big deal, I thought he was harmless." I took a deep breath. "He wasn't harmless, Rachel. He wanted to humiliate me. And you, in front of everyone." She looked guilty. "I'm sorry. I should have said something." I didn't reply. I just nodded and went to bed, replaying the night in my mind. The following Monday, Rachel called during lunch. "You won't believe what happened," she said. "Jason had quit. Word of the party had spread." Colleagues had filmed the arm wrestling match, and it went semi-viral in their internal chat. Overnight, he became the office joke, the guy humiliated by his coworker's husband. He couldn't handle it. His ego couldn't take the hit. I didn't feel sorry. He disrespected my wife, tried to mock me, and got exactly what he deserved. In the following weeks, Rachel and I grew closer. The ordeal forced us to talk honestly about boundaries, hers with coworkers, mine with trust. She admitted she initially enjoyed the attention, not realizing how toxic it had become. I admitted I sometimes doubted her but didn't want to control her. Maybe we both learned something, she said one night, resting her head on my shoulder. Yeah, I replied. Like how not all challenges are worth accepting, but some are. We laughed softly. The tension between us finally eased. Months later, Rachel's company hosted another event. Smaller, more formal. Several coworkers greeted me warmly. Hey Jake. Still undefeated. One joked. I smiled politely. Rachel laughed. You've got a reputation now, she whispered. Let's keep it that way, I replied. The night passed peacefully. No drama, no tests, just two people who had faced something together and come out stronger. I realized then that standing up for yourself doesn't just protect pride. It protects respect in your relationship. Looking back, that office party wasn't just an awkward evening. It was a turning point. Confidence doesn't come from showing strength. It comes from knowing when to act and when to walk away. Jason learned that lesson the hard way. As for Rachel and me, we rediscovered what partnership really means. Mutual respect, honesty, and quiet strength. Now, whenever we pass the hotel downtown, Rachel chuckles. Still undefeated champ. I just smile, knowing the best victories aren't always about winning. They're about earning them.